As investors, we started this year like a dream before crashing back to reality with rising interest rates, soaring inflation, and a new war in the West. But today we're talking about how to take advantage of that as investors. We look at the top performing large shares in South Africa for 2022 so far, and how to not only make money, but make the largest profits possible in these new markets that you don't want to miss. So let's get started. Alright, in today's episode we are going to review what's happened in the year so far, and we're going to look at each of the top performing shares in the JSE 40 from January to now. By the end of the video we'll find out why they've grown so much and how you can use this information to make some profits for yourself this year. Okay, so let's get down to it. 21 was a huge growth year. Low interest rates and economic stimulus meant shares went soaring. Then in January, you heard that as COVID was coming under control, we were left with huge shipping delays, supply shortages, and soaring inflation. The best way for the Reserve Bank to fight this was to start raising interest rates again and cutting economic stimulus packages. Now, overall, that means less money in the consumer's pocket to spend, so less income in general for businesses, and needless to say, the markets don't like that. Then, as you saw in late February, Russia invaded Ukraine, causing the supply of many products to disappear and a lot of commodity and energy prices to rise, and likely raising expenses for businesses along with it. Markets, of course, don't like that either. So overall, not the best conditions to run a business, but it depends what business you're running. You might have heard the saying that one man's trash is another man's treasure, and that's exactly the case for the best performing companies in the top 40. What is trash for one company are the ingredients for success for another. Let me show you what I mean. This graph here shows the best performing shares in the JSE top 40 for 2022 so far, January to now. Now, tell me if you notice any similarities about these. I'll give you a second to look and maybe like the video while you wait. So you probably saw what I saw, which is that every one of these companies falls into one of two categories. The company is either a bank or a mining company. The top 10 performing large shares for 2022 are exclusively banks and mining companies, each one. Absa Group is up 23% from January to now. Discovery, which has Discovery Bank, is up 25%. First Rank, which is FNB, is 26%. Standard Bank has grown 30%, and Nedbank is in green to the tune of 33%. And those results are just the first 4 months. You can multiply those by 3 to get the annualized return, but not to say it will reach those numbers by December. Then, on the other side, we have Anglo American with 20%, Sibanye grew 23%, Goldfields up by 30%, Sasol, which has mining and oil operations, grew 40%, and Exxaro tops the list with an impressive 50.5% growth in the last 4 months. So what is it in the air that's making these banks and mining companies go up? Ironically, it's exactly the same conditions making other companies go down. The war in Ukraine sent commodity prices sky high. Simply put, most of the world cut off buying oil, energy, and minerals from Russia. So with that drop in supply, the prices rose to meet the demand. While that means higher transport and utility costs for most businesses, it means higher income for the mining companies as people pay more for the same gram of coal, oil, or precious metals. Now we see something very similar when it comes to the banks. The business of a bank, yes, is to charge transaction fees, but their main source of income is from lending out money and charging interest. Think of your home loan or your credit card. Now, for the last 2 years, interest rates have been forced as low as possible to help consumers during lockdowns. But now this year, the Reserve Bank is starting to raise interest rates as a way to bring down the inflation that lower rates brought about. So for a company that loans out money when the interest rates go up, causing you and I to pay more on our loans, their bottom line profits go up right along with it. In both these sectors, in both these scenarios, we can see that it's good to put away money for a rainy day, but it's even better when you sell the umbrellas. So as an investor watching this video right now, what does that mean for you? Let's be open and honest about this. It means that if you want to ride a wave being pushed forward by macroeconomic conditions, then you should look at the banking and mining industries to invest your money in 2022. Not only these companies in the top 40, but any company in these sectors will have an easier time making profits. But keep in mind, it doesn't mean that every company in these groups will be a winner. It doesn't mean every banking or mining company will do well. It also doesn't mean that some companies will perform better than others, or even that these conditions will last long term. Interest rates rise and fall, although it's believed they'll rise for the rest of this year, and commodity prices are driven by supply and demand, which usually evens out over time. So market trends don't make up for good research and good company management, but what it does mean is that you may be investing with the current rather than against it, like running a race downhill. It means at the end of the day that the current economy makes it easier for these companies to make a profit, and in turn it might be easier for you to make a profit along with them. For beginners, you can take the easy route, and if you're advanced, maybe you can take advantage. But that's it for today's episode. I hope you enjoyed it and find these helpful. Feel free to like the video or subscribe to the channel if you haven't already for more insight into markets and my own portfolio. All questions are welcome in the comments. We're nearly at 1,000 subscribers in 4 months, which is incredible. So you're welcome to join the community. But until then, I'll see you again next time on Casual Cash. Cheers.